The village was small by most standards, having just fewer than 300 people. It had 2 taverns, a church, and a general store. Everyone knew everyone. It had one claim to fame, and that was Mary Folecroft. Mary Folecroft was a successful author, having had 3 best-selling romance novels in the last 2 years. She was 24 years old and she had her own views on how things should be done. Most people were awed by her. She had Mrs. Theda Clark who cleaned her house and did a lot of small chores for her. Mrs. Clark was a widow whose husband had died early in their wedded life, who had one son, Tommy, who was 23 years old. He was a shy lad who took care of his mother. All the other children his age had left to go to large cities to make their way in life. Most villagers had only heard him say maybe 5 words in the last 2 years. He wasn't dumb by any means, he just didn't have anyone his age to talk to. Mrs. Clark was talking to Mary about a problem and her solution to it. My sister is having surgery and I have to go help take care of her 3 kids and help around the house. It should only be a couple of weeks and I will be back. My Tommy keeps our house clean and can come to keep your house clean, if that is all right with you. Mary said it was fine with her, and Mrs. Clark was happy because that job made the difference between them and poverty. She had the monthly check from her husband's insurance, but it wasn't enough to keep going. Mary was generous with her, often giving her little presents that really helped out at home. The first day Mary showed Tommy where everything was and he got to work cleaning. He was cleaning the bathroom when he spilled some soapy water on himself. Mary saw and had him put on an apron. It was a full cover one that buttoned in the back all the way down. She had to button it herself, and when it was buttoned it came to 6 inches from the floor. When she looked at it, she thought it looked just like a dress. She imagined what he would look like in a dress. She had him stay for supper, since as he was all alone, as she said, that way he didn't have to make anything when he got home. He kept the apron on, afraid to ask her to unbutton it. She saw how bashful he was and wondered if she could go further with him. After supper, when it was time for him to leave, she asked if he wanted her to unbutton the apron. He said in a low voice that he did, and she unbuttoned it for him. Then in a flash she gave him a kiss thank you on his lips. He was stunned. No one other than his mother had ever kissed him, and no one had ever kissed him on his lips before. As he walked to his house he wanted to sing. He didn't know why, but he would do anything Mary asked. He wondered what his mother would say if he told her Mary kissed him. The next day before he started, Mary had him in the apron. He accepted that he had to wear it. He cleaned like a machine and had her living room and bedroom shining before they had lunch together. When Mary asked him questions, he gave one-word answers. In the afternoon he was cleaning the bathroom when he heard Mary make a sound of anguish. He went and asked her what the problem was. She said she lost her whole last chapter on her computer. He asked if he could try to get it back. She told him to go ahead. Less than a minute later he had it back and she had lost nothing. She impulsively gave him a kiss and thanked him. She saw his red cheeks and laughed. He saw her shut down the computer and then leave. He went back to cleaning. Mary went to the general store and talked to Anna Ho, who ran it. Anna remembered everything that had been bought by whom and remembered sizes of clothes and other pertinent information. Mary had a bag when she left the store and walked back to her house. She wondered if she could pull it off. That night after supper she unbuttoned his apron, and when she kissed him she asked if he would wear some shoes that would look better with the apron. He readily agreed and she handed him a box. He opened it and saw a pair of white Mary Janes in the box. She told him to try them on and he did. They fit perfectly. She told him to wear them home to break them in and not forget to wear them tomorrow. Then she gave him another kiss. He was walking home and thought about the fact they were so light on his feet. He didn't give a second thought about the fact they were girls' shoes. He was in heaven being kissed by a woman like Mary. The next day after Mary had buttoned his apron, she rolled up his pants cuffs so they were not visible. When she stepped back, she thought he looked just perfect. He cleaned and did the windows inside and out. Mary said his mother never did the windows and that they looked superb. She gave him another kiss. When she unbuttoned his apron that night, she asked if he had ever done laundry, and he said he had done it many times. She told him tomorrow he was to do her laundry, and he smiled. The next day when she buttoned his apron, she told him his white cotton socks looked tacky with those shoes. She gave him a kiss and asked him if he would change socks for her. He agreed, and she handed him a pair of black nylon knee-highs. He put them on, and the thought of how nice they felt struck him. He never felt like or thought about the fact she was trying to feminize him. He did a great job of cleaning, and he even hand-washed her underwear and hung it out on the clothesline so it smelled of fresh air and all the flowers out there. She knew she was getting intrigued with him but didn't think it was serious. Monday evening of the second week, he noticed a run in his stockings. Early Tuesday morning, he went to the general store and bought another pair. Anna noticed his white shoes and understood what Mary was doing. She told him he looked very nice and that Mary was her best customer. All week he cleaned and did things for Mary. He even went to the store to pick up her food order. Everyone greeted him in a very friendly manner. They all knew he was doing the cleaning at Mary's house. On Friday, his mother returned. She got off the bus and went home to unpack. Then she walked to Mary's house to let her know she would be back on Monday. She rang the doorbell and Tommy answered. She looked at him in his apron, and when she saw his shoes and nylons, she knew Mary was having fun with him. Mary came in and told her to sit down. Tommy returned to his cleaning. "My sister is doing fine, so I can be back cleaning on Monday. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but can Tommy continue to do the cleaning? I really like him and he does such a great job. He will do whatever I want him to do, and he is such a nice man. I really enjoy having him around here. So, if it is all right, I would appreciate it if he continued to come do cleaning and the other little chores I have for him to do." "I suppose it's all right. I notice you've made some changes in his appearance. Why are you doing that? Right now it's a game between him and me. I don't really know what I want in him, but he doesn't seem to care, or at least he hasn't said anything about the changes. Well, I trust you know what you are doing. If I can be of any help, let me know. You know he's very shy, but he does have feelings. He is not dumb and knows many different things. I have found that out. He helped me when I had a problem with my computer. He is fantastic at everything he has done for me. He even sends my underwear. I love how it smells now. Well, it is not a problem with me if you want him to clean for you. I do have one question though. Are you trying to get him into a dress? That thought has crossed my mind, but I'm not really sure about that. I don't know where I am going with that. I have to go. I guess I'm going back to cleaning our house now. Tommy did it before, now it is my turn." She left, and when Tommy was done, she unbuttoned him and told him she would see him on Monday. She paid him, giving him more than she paid his mother. At home, his mother was surprised and shocked at how much he'd been paid. His mother said Mary must really like him to pay him more than she paid her. He smiled and told her that Mary always kissed him to thank him. This got his mother to thinking. On Monday, Mary told him she had to go to New York to meet with her publisher. She told him to keep the house clean and that she would pay him when she got back the following Monday. She said she was leaving on tomorrow's bus. That night she told him there was a new apron in the closet for him to wear. She put on fresh lipstick, then kissed him on his lips. A lot of the lipstick transferred to his lips unknown to him. When he got home, his mother told him he looked very sweet. She asked how long he had been wearing lipstick, and he said Mary kissed him right after putting some on. She was sure she knew what Mary was doing to him. After Mary left for New York, he still wore the apron. When it was time to wash it, he found another one even fancier than the first one. It was trimmed with lace, but he didn't mind. He kept the house clean. He really missed her. Meanwhile, Mary was wondering why she missed him so much. She couldn't believe she had fallen in love with him. He was on her mind, and she wished he was with her. Anna was talking to the villagers who came to her store. They picked Sarah Combs to talk to his mother about a plan they had. His mother said she knew where Mary was heading and she approved what they wanted to do. That night she told Tommy to go see Tammy Hart tomorrow. Tammy was the best seamstress in town and could create majestic dresses in no time. She told him the village wanted to welcome Mary home in style and that he was the most important part of it. The next morning he was at Tammy's house and she measured him. She told him he would have to go to Anna's store, that Anna knew what he would need for his new outfit. He had no idea what she was talking about. When he got to Anna's store, she was all smiles. She said everyone in the village knew what Mary wanted and he was going to meet her expectations. He was surprised when she asked him to strip to his waist. She quickly had breast forms glued onto his chest. He asked what was going on and she told him everyone in the village knew what Mary wanted most. She hooked a bra on him and he began wondering where it would stop. When she dropped a slip over his head, he was ready to walk out after first taking the clothes off. "Listen, Mary is the most loved person in town and we are going to give her what she wants. You will go along with this or everyone will be mad at you. Do you want that?" "No." "Now get your pants and undershorts off. The entire village has taken a collection up to pay for your changes. You can really help by not fighting the changes." She put panties and a dress on him that was pink with lace trim. Then she said Tammy was making him a red dress, so he would need red heels. She got a pair of red heels and soon he was standing there fully dressed. Anna put his boy clothes in a bag and added 2 more dresses. She said she still had money left and if he saw something to say something. He was speechless. He walked out and walked the block to his house. His mother told him he looked lovely, but he looked dismayed. She knew she had to get him to want to wear a dress. "You love Mary, don't you?" "I don't know if it is love or not. I sure miss her though. She always makes me feel like everything I do is important. I am sure you love her and she wants to see you in a dress. I am positive it will make her happy and you want to make her happy, don't you?" "Yes, but are you sure this is what she wants?" "I am positive this is what she wants." "Then I will wear a dress." He walked to Mary's house to do some quick cleaning. He looked at himself in her full-length mirror and thought he looked stupid, but thought about how Mary had him wearing the white shoes and the nylons and wondered if that was really what Mary wanted. He decided he would find out when she got back. That night his mother had him take a shower after she applied some lotion to him. He was shocked to see all of his body hair leave his body. His mother told him there was a bottle of lotion from Anna for him to use after the shower. He used it and it felt real nice but made him smell like a bouquet of flowers. His mother told him it was a special lotion and he should use it Monday morning before he got dressed. The next day being Saturday, he had to go to Tammy's house, and she fit the dress and set the hem while he wore the dress. She told him he could come Monday morning early to get the dress on. He had to go to Anna's store to get potatoes for his mother. Anna told him the whole village was counting on him. He saw two couples he knew from the village and both of them said hello and smiled at him as if it was the most normal thing to see him in a dress. He felt more accepted now than ever before and wondered why. Sunday, and he doubted he could go through with it. He didn't want to meet her wearing a dress. It was bad enough to wear the shoes and nylons, but to wear a dress? That was unheard of. What if everyone was wrong about what she wanted? He would look like a fool. He decided to take a walk. He walked to Mary's house and went in. He imagined she was there and he relived the kisses she'd given him. He was tremendously happy, thinking about them. Then he wondered if the kiss in which she left lipstick on his lips was on purpose. He couldn't believe she would do that on purpose, but she had to have seen it when she broke the kiss. She hadn't said anything, and he wondered if she laughed when he left. He couldn't believe she would do that. Monday morning came too fast, and his mother got him up at 6 to take a shower. He showered and ate a light breakfast. He didn't know if he could go to Tammy's house or not. He finally left and arrived at 7 on the head. She was waiting for him. She helped him into the dress and zipped it up the back. He looked divine in the red dress trimmed with satin bows. When he looked in the mirror to see how the dress looked, he thought it was beautiful, but that he looked stupid in it. Tammy told him he was to go to Sally Thompson's house for her to make his final adjustments. He knew some women had Sally do their hair but didn't have any idea what she could do with him. He had never been to her house. He entered and she immediately had him go to the sink to shampoo his hair. Then she did some cutting and soon he had rollers in it and she was doing his nails. He watched as she gave him a manicure, then painted his nails to match his dress. Then she started to remove his rollers and brush and comb his hair. He knew he had never had his hair done like this and wondered what it was going to look like when she was through. She finally finished his hair and said it looked great. He thought he was done at that point, but she told him she had to do his makeup yet. She worked on his eyebrows, then did the foundation and blush. She kept at it until she had him completely the way she wanted. When he looked in the mirror, he couldn't believe it was him. He was looking at a woman and it was not him. She handed him a plastic case that she said had the cosmetics he needed to practice at home with. He left and stopped at home before going to the bus stop. At the bus stop, he was surprised at how many villagers were there. It was 20 minutes before the bus was to arrive. At this very time, Mary was wondering what Tommy was doing. She pictured him cleaning the house for her return. She couldn't wait to see him. She knew now she was in love with him and she didn't know why. She could hardly wait. Mrs. Stuckey came up to him and handed him a vase filled with lilacs, telling him he was to present it to Mary to make her house smell nice. When the bus turned the corner, there was a loud murmur in the crowd. Everyone wondered how she would take the surprise. The bus ground to a halt. When Mary emerged, there was a cheer. She never expected this. Anna took her arm and led her to the center of the group. Then Anna spoke, "Mary, the whole village wants to welcome you home. We have come up with a surprise from the whole village for you. First, we have some flowers to make your house smell nice." The crowd parted for Tommy to present the flowers. He handed them to her. She looked at him and then looked again. She couldn't believe it was him. Finally, "Is that you, Tommy?" He said yes in a low voice. She handed the flowers to the nearest woman and grabbed him and gave him a hard kiss. The whole crowd cheered. "Thank you all. This is the best surprise I have ever gotten in my life." "Thank you," Anna said. "We just figured we would help you with what we suspected you wanted. You took so long to get what you wanted that we couldn't wait." Mary hugged Anna and then hugged Tommy again. It took close to an hour for the crowd to start to thin. Mary talked to everyone, thanking them personally. When she looked, she didn't see Tommy. Then she saw him carrying her suitcase and flowers toward her house. She said quick goodbyes and thank yous to the remaining people and headed after him. She walked into her house and wondered where he was. She saw he had put the flowers on the table and that her house was very clean. He must have worked very hard to make it shine like it did. She found him in her bedroom unpacking her clothes. She looked at him and still couldn't believe what she saw. She went to him and gave him a long kiss. "Did you wear the dress for me? It is what the village thought you wanted. I am asking why you wore the dress. Did you wear it because you thought that was what I wanted? Isn't it what you wanted? I want to know why you wore the dress. Did you wear it because the village made you or because you thought that was what I wanted? I thought that was what you wanted. You had me wear women's shoes and nylons, then you kissed me and left lipstick on my lips, so I thought this is where you were heading, so I went along with the village. Do you love me?" He didn't answer for the longest time. She was ready to scream and wondered if he had heard her. Finally he said that he loved her. She grabbed him and kissed him again. "The whole time on my trip all I could think about was you. I realized I must love you. Now we know we love one another, that only leaves one thing." "What is that?" "We have to get married. Will you marry me and be my bride?" "Yes, I will marry you." "Did you notice I said be my bride?" "I noticed that, and if that is what you want, then I will be your bride." He was so serious she couldn't believe what she was hearing. He loved her enough to be her bride. She knew from what the villagers had said about him that he had said more to her than most of the villagers in his lifetime. "We have to go talk to your mother and tell her. I hope she'll understand." When Mary explained that she was in love with him and said they were going to get married, she was surprised to learn that it was a known fact by half of the village. Mary said she didn't know if she'd been heading toward putting him in a dress, but when she saw him and saw how pretty he was, she knew he belonged in that dress. She said he would be her bride, and his mother said that Tammy makes the most beautiful wedding gowns imaginable. His mother said she was happy he had found her and always wanted to see a daughter get married. They went to see Tammy, and she said it would take at least a week to make a wedding dress. Mary told her cost was no concern, to get the finest material and whatever else she thought she needed. When Tammy said she would have to measure her, Mary said she already had the measurements, that the dress was for Tommy. Tammy said she knew exactly what to make that would look good on him. Mary asked if the dress would be ready a week from this Saturday, and Tammy said that would be no problem. Then they went to see Anna. Anna suggested they use the town hall, as that was the only building in town that could hold the whole village. She said she could get the village band to play for the dance and that everyone in the village loved a potluck supper. Mary said she would bring a list of things to order for the wedding tomorrow. Anna said she could get anything she didn't already have. When Mary said to spread the word that everyone was invited, Anna said everyone would know by supper time, and laughed. The dress was ready on time, and Tammy said it had the most pearls sewn on it that she had ever hand-sewn, and that it had the longest train she had ever made. He was a lot more comfortable in a dress now, and everyone in the village had congratulated him on his upcoming marriage, saying they wouldn't miss that for anything. The day arrived and he was so nervous that his mother just had to laugh at him. He was almost in tears as he looked for his blush among the cosmetics he had come to enjoy putting on. His mother told him he was just like she'd been on her wedding day, and she survived. He felt a little better, hearing that. It was time for him to walk from the front door of the hall to where the preacher and Mary stood. The hall was packed and he didn't think his feet would take him there. He finally started the longest walk in his life. He looked like an angel walking to the front of the hall. 3 women carried his train. He finally made it and kissed his mother. The ceremony was beautiful and Mary was thinking about how lucky she was. He thought he was going to faint, then heard where he was supposed to say I do. He got it out, almost screaming it. Everyone laughed to hear him speak so loud. He had never spoken that loud in his life. The ceremony was over and the celebration began. Mary was happy, knowing she had a husband who would do anything for her, and he was happy to be married to the only woman he had ever loved outside of his mother.